Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair. Last one to know, last one to show. I was the last one you thought you'd see there. And I saw the surprise and the fear in his eyes when I took his glass of champagne. I toasted you, said, honey, we may be through, and you'll never hear me complain. 'Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey.
Welcome to the North Shore 9 podcast, episode number 141, part of the Pod Hub Network. I am Ryan Alexander. Along with me, as always, is Anthony DiNardo. DiNardo, Garth Brooks is here to save us all.
He said he got friends in low places. So what better place than Bradenton, Florida for the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Yeah. And you knew that. I think somebody actually put the comments of on the Pirates tweeted out like, Garth Brooks is here with us in camp, and somebody commented and said over under on how many can he play shortstop? And 12 comments. But yeah, there was some fun comments there. But yeah, this kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Garth Brooks.
My mom texted me actually. My mom was like, Garth Brooks is practicing with the Pirates this week at Bradenton. Finally, they have a prospect that might get him to the World Series.
She is such a yinzer.
She is a yinzer. Shout out to my mom.
but it's like, yeah, this came out of nowhere, and it's like, really? Like, we've seen this before. Garth's done this before, but here we are. He's just, I don't know, hanging out with the Pirates in camp for the week.
Yeah, why not? I don't know. Maybe he will bring some. I don't know. I don't want to say good luck. Maybe skill. I don't know. Maybe there's something he can bring. When's the last time the Pirates have had someone, I guess, like this come into camp? Can you recall? I don't remember anything.
I remember when they faced Billy Crystal on that whole stint circus that went on with the Yankees. I think it was Paul Mulholland that had to face him, and Billy Crystal took him to a full count before he struck him out. But
that explains a lot about those teams. Yeah. But yeah, right? Like you were talking about that today on Twitter, and but yeah, we faced them, right? I mean, I don't recall anyone. Not that this happens often, but you see this here and there. Some celebrity just wants to show up to camp and, have his fantasy baseball, and the team organization lets him come. So
it's weird though with Garth, because like he actually legit was like trying to make a team back in like 2000. Like he was in the Mets camp, then the Padres, and I think he did some little stint with the Royals. But like that was all back in like 2000. So like 18 years later, DiNardo, here comes like, what do you do? Just call the Pirates up? Like, hey, can I come over? Can I come hang out? You get some pub? Like, who sets this up? Do the Pirates call him? Does he call them? Like,
well, see,
why
that's
the Pirates?
That's my second question. So we're talking about this. I mean, Billy Crystal suited up for the Yankees, but I mean, Billy Crystal's from New York and he's a Yankees fan. Yeah. So where's the correlation of Garth Brooks and Pittsburgh?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
It probably comes back to Trevor's dad. Richard's probably involved somehow.
You think so?
I don't know. But yeah, it is. It's random.
The real MVP.
And especially considering, like, you'd think, like, we would have heard, like, something, like, if this was planned, like, hey, we might have a special guest in camp. Like, this just came out of nowhere today. So it was like, I don't know, like, maybe he just showed up and was like, hey, you guys mind if I work out with you for a week? I don't know. I don't know how these things work. I'm not a huge fan of all this crap. I mean, we've seen this, you mentioned the Billy Crystal. Garth Brooks did this before. Russell Wilson, who was drafted by the Rangers? The Rangers,
but at least that you can understand though too. I mean, he was at least drafted.
Yeah, he was drafted, but he would come even 5 years after he was an NFL quarterback and winning Super Bowls. They're like, oh, he came back and talked to the team and he might play a game and pursue baseball. And it's like, nah, come on.
Well, right.
You get that rumor going every year. But so, I can see that because he was
traded. Don't you remember?
Him. Oh, that's right. That's right. Who
was that too?
Traded to the Yankees.
Was it the Yankees?
I think so, because he always had the dream to play for the Yankees.
I'm looking up right now. But you're talking about Russell Wilson. At least he was traded. Yeah, it was. Yankees acquired. This is last year. Yankees acquired Russell Wilson.
I remember us talking about that, I think, on your show, on DiNardo's Dugout, and I was all ticked off about it. It's just I'm not like it's just to me it's just a circus. It's a stunt. It's just like what are we doing?
And they want his
here? Like,
leadership in camp.
yeah, I mean it's one thing if he comes and talks to the team, great. Like okay, but then like to just like to trade him for like I don't know what they even trade him for. Was it like cash considerations or something? But like it just. Why are we doing this? Like, why is baseball always like the fun like, hey, just show up there in Florida in March and you can hang out with them and here we'll put you in a game, Billy. Go up there and take an at bat. It's like what, So anyway, so I don't know. Have we heard anything? Like, is Garth going to play a game or is this just he's just working out? Is that what's going on?
I don't know. I really don't.
I don't know either.
What do you expect that? I mean, we did see, I guess, Billy Crystal get an at bat. Maybe who will get an at bat?
Well, I don't know because the games don't start until I think like the end of this month, and I think they said he's like
just
only
a week, huh?
Yeah, he's only hanging out like a week, so
That's
I don't know.
true.
Maybe he shows back up, and I don't know. You think Garth Brooks knows like any of the Pirates? Like, do you think he knows like anybody? I don't know.
Oh, I guess if he's a baseball fan, he does. But like, are you talking about on a personal level of why he's there?
No, I'm just saying like
know
yeah, I'm
of
sure he
them?
knows baseball. He knows like probably like like I don't know. Like, does he know like who Josh Bell is? That's what like, I'm saying. Like, does he know the Pirates players? Like, that's what I'm curious about.
I would say so. I would say he's probably smart enough to know because obviously
I would hope.
he's a baseball fan.
Right. Well, obviously.
But my thing is, does he know any of them personally? Which is why he's in camp. I mean, I couldn't imagine
Yeah.
that either.
I don't know.
It's just
I don't know what
mind-boggling.
the
I have no
tie
idea.
is
Why is Garth Brooks at Pirates camp?
there. I don't know. I don't know.
There you go. So
Play
World
the
Series
Arnold
Pirates
drop.
this year.
Yeah, well, he said something about that too. He's like, when I was in camp with the Mets, they ended up going to the World Series, and I think he said he got I don't know if he got a ring, like an NL ring out of it. I don't know. It's just
mean,
hey, look,
Were the Wilpons in charge then? He didn't get a ring.
If the Pirates go to the World Series, Garth can have a ring. We'll give him one. We'll raise the money for it if the Pirates won't.
Well, anyways.
Yeah.
Enough of Garth.
Yeah, so anyway, so unless he's going to play shortstop, no, but that's the joke going around. But the Pirates did, I don't know, sign somebody, or they keep signing minor league free agents, minor league deals left and right, DiNardo. So the latest, and there's been a whole litany this offseason. I feel like this is all we're picking up. Well, the Pirates signed Melky Cabrera. So if you recall, I think this was actually last offseason, was everybody was clamoring for sign Melky. Sign
for
Melky.
sure.
He'd be great to fill, now that we don't have Kutch, and this is before the Dickerson trade and everything, obviously. But, well, they signed Melky a year later to a minor league deal. I don't know, man. There was what do you make of this? There was a lot of talk on Twitter about, it's a great, bench depth, depth for the bench and everything, and while Polanco's basically rehabbing, but I mean Polanco looks really good. I don't know. So, like, what do you make of all this? Do you think?
Well, let's back up a year. Let's just do that because you're absolutely correct. There was a lot of talk about Melky Cabrera last year. Would have made some sense. The Pirates traded Kutch. There was an obvious hole in the lineup. Austin Meadows is the next man up, but he's not ready. Well, he could have been ready, but the Pirates weren't going to make him ready. So, Melky made a whole lot of sense. But think about this. If he would have signed last year, it would have been some decent money. He had a .4 WAR. His offense is still, it's there. It's goodish. It's average. But his defense is awful. So, I mean, if I look at this like last year, what if we got Melky and then therefore we didn't get Dickerson? Oh, yeah. Oh, this team would be a mess this year. I mean, who knows what would happen? I don't know if you can afford to trade Meadows and get the Archer deal.
Right.
So, yeah, like in hindsight, now I'm definitely glad we didn't get him last year. So, with that said, year later, we do get Melky now. It's a minor league deal, so it's virtually no risk. That I like because, frankly, Ryan, he's not that great of a player. He really isn't. So I'm good with this deal. Let's rewind up to this last week too. Any minor league deal, who cares? That's how I look at it. Like, okay, he's going to be in camp. Now, I guess to look at it in its own vacuum, I do like the deal as a minor league deal because like he still can't hit for average per se. I mean, 102 WRC plus last year, 98 the year before. It was back in 2016 with the White Sox that he had a really solid year, 116. 2.1 WAR. But the thing is, his defense is just so bad that I don't think I look at him as like an adequate outfielder. He'd be a great bench bat, and then like your fifth outfielder, more or less, in my eyes.
Yeah, and he still, like you said, he still has some pop. He was with the Indians eventually signed him last year. He played 78 games with them, 6 home runs, like you said, 102 WRC plus. So, I mean, the defense, like you said, is awful. I just don't, with Chisenhall, with what we've seen from Polanco, like, I don't even think Polanco is going to miss that much. Like, maybe a month.
Maybe.
Maybe. Right, maybe. Like, I don't know. He's going to be taking live batting, live games, who knows, in spring training. Like, it's crazy to me. So we don't even know how much time, if at all, that Polanco is going to miss. So you have Chisenhall, which I guess, Hurdle or Huntington had mentioned that Chisenhall, they kind of can move him around. He can play a couple, more different positions, even like second base and stuff. So it's like, okay, but you have like 5 of those. You have Frazier, you have Reyes, you have a lot of guys that can kind of be that versatility and bounce around. So I don't know. I just don't, like, everybody's like, I'm going to say everybody, but like, and it's the name, like, I think it was Mitchell Nagy that tweeted out and said, "Oh, Yinzers will like this pickup because it's actually a name. They recognize the name, So it's like a lot of people are on that name recognition, and it's like, oh, this is a good bench back. Like it's a guarantee that he's making the roster. I don't think it is. And I think if he does, it once Polanco comes back and he's healthy, shows that he's healthy. Mm-hmm. I just don't really see where Melky fits on this team at that point, because you basically have Frazier, Chisenhall, Reyes that can all play the outfield. Even Ozuna, whether he starts in AAA or not. So you just have so many options. So I don't know. I don't see it. It cracks me up, though. I love you get the notifications on your phone from like MLB at bat and stuff, and it's like, Pirates land Melky Cabrera.
They land him. The big time player.
Yeah, like in air quotes, landed. Like, can you really land somebody when you're the Pirates and he signed a minor league deal with you? Like, it's pretty much like he's just happy to get anything at this point. He's happy to be doing something in March.
The fact that he took a minor league deal with the Pirates just tells you that in itself. Right. Like he's happy to have a job right now. Like
that what that tells me, DiNardo, is nobody else was calling him. That's what it tells me.
True. So honestly, like, he would be a great DH. Then when the AL was like, oh, come on, we need a DH. Right. To give him like a clear-cut position. So I'm with you. Now, my take on him for the roster spot, I guess I think he has a solid chance making the team out of camp, just because of Polanco, like you mentioned. But then again, how long is it going to last? So the fact that, he could be a solid bench bat. If Chisenhall's going to be starting as a right fielder, obviously, who's our fourth outfielder? It could be Pablo Reyes if he makes the team, but I think that's where they're going at. Like, is it going to be Pablo Reyes or is it going to be a Melky Cabrera?
Yeah,
and I think that's the decision. So ultimately, I just feel it goes into like what they see out of this spring. It's kind of too early to call it. Does he have a chance? I think he absolutely does. But to also back up your point, once Polanco is healthy, I don't know. It's a complete roster crunch. Like, where does he really fit on this team?
Right. And once it's another guy in camp. You have so many of these minor league free agent guys that are, being invited to camp. It's like, you see who knows who's in shape at this point. We'll see when they come in and they get some reps going. But
injuries potentially can happen.
Right.
As you mentioned, that could be it. What if Chisenhall goes down in spring training? Well, then Melky's making it.
Even though they're minor league numbers, you still see like who's looking good, who's squaring the ball up, who's healthy, who's in shape. So we'll be getting, hopefully seeing a lot more of that once everybody reports. As we didn't even mention, like, pitchers and catchers reported pretty much today down in Bradenton, and we even saw some Polanco. Polanco was out there throwing. I don't know, dude. I don't know what else Polanco has to do, but
Herb and I talked it on the NS9 Live this Thursday. That was the thing. We saw him first off working out. Then you see him hitting off a tee, and that just excited me. And then he saw him taking like live batting practice. And then last week he saw him throwing, which extended to, of course, this week. I'm with you. What does he have to do left? I know. Everyone's just now reporting. I feel like they're probably a little bit ahead. They've been throwing longer, obviously, so he's got some ramp up. But